The fifth Doctor, Nyssa, Tegan, and Edric arrive on a spaceship which is headed for Earth. On board, they meet natives of Earth from various different eras, and also three Urbancans: Monarch, Persuasion, and Enlightenment. What are the aliens' intentions when they reach Earth? Hello, everybody! Welcome to the Random Entertainment channel, or Doctor Who Lifestyle, or the Doctor Who channel, or in case this is my name, Enigmatic Joker, your host. So, how are you today, friends and companions? So, all sort of fans on this channel are welcome here to talk about things for except our beloved books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music and sport, and a special place on this channel for Doctor Who, my most beloved sci-fi series. Watch till eternity. Yes, I will watch that because I love the Doctor. I have a deep passion, enthusiasm for the Doctor. Yeah. So random, because we'll discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books and music. No politics or religion on this channel because we have fun, laughter, and jokes. So we not dive deep into things like politics, for example, or religion. Yeah, we want to have a great show. We want to have a fun time with each other. I want to make friends on this channel and network. I want to have. I want to exactly want to meet you. So random because we'll broadcast on non-fixed times, actually in many different times. That's just like a doctor who travels in his stars through time and space. He traveled through time, different times, because I want to meet as much people as possible. Because we have time zones on this world, on this earth. So to reach out to people as much as possible, to serve as much people as possible, I do different live stream times. So you need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. Random also because we have no guests or different guests. If you want to join me in a live stream panel, feel free to contact me via YouTube. You can put a comment on one of the videos, or you can visit me and meet me on a Discord, the Discord server. And what also is possible is to invite me for your channel for a live stream panel. I want also to talk to you with you about the things we are interested in, and especially of course Doctor Who. So feel free also to invite me for your channel or live stream panel. I'm available for that. So the Discord server is called Random Entertainment Channel. Tag Doctor Who on Discord and you find me very quick because I bump the server regularly. So cheers, mate. Have lots of fun. Again, this is your host, Enigmatic Joker, Mystery, Enigma, Random, and Shuffle. Expanded and extended. Yes, with much fun and no religion and no politics. So um, um, we want to analyze and we want to do, but most of all, we want to have pleasure in things about Doctor Who in this case. Yes. So, some general info. Um, about this story for the Doomsday. Um, so, For to Doomsday was the second serial of season 19 of Doctor Who. It was the first story Peter Davison filmed as the fifth Doctor. Much like with Castrovalva, Edric is seen apparently siding with the main enemy of the story. In this case, by telling Monarch invaluable information about the Doctor, the Time Lords, and the TARDIS. At first, it seemed like a straightforward betrayal, but Edric had in fact been tricked into thinking Monarch was harmless to them. Let us solve the error of his ways. So, spoiler alert, we now dive into the plot. So you can decide for yourself to listen further on. But yeah, if you haven't watched this story yet, I recommend you to watch that first to have some surprise. But you can choose Otherwise, you can listen to the plot now right now. So we dive into part one, and part one is that the Doctor tries to return Tegan to Heathrow Airport, but the TARDIS lands on a technologically advanced ship. So the Doctor goes out, investigate, and sees a Monopticon surveying him. He returns to the TARDIS and emerges with Edric, Nissa, and Tegan. All four must wear helmets to breathe. The Doctor addresses the Monopticon, hoping whoever is using it for surveillance will see they are friendly. He queries it on their location. A door opens. Seeing this as a friendly gesture, the Doctor goes through it, followed by Tegan. So, Nissa and Edric stay in the room to operate some machinery there. Tegan and the Doctor eventually find themselves on the ship's bridge and meet Monarch and his two associates, Enlightenment and Persuasion. Monarch is interested in the Doctor and Tegan's knowledge of current and past Earth culture. He reveals the ship is bound for Earth. Tegan draws a picture of a man and a woman wearing the latest fashions for Enlightenment. Tegan and the Doctor leave the bridge and meet up with Nissa and Edric. Nissa claims she saw a humanoid man. The Doctor doubts this until one emerges dressed in a Greek toga to ask them to follow him. They are led to a dining chamber and seated at a table, to be joined by an aborigine, Kurkuchi, Mayan, Philagra, and the Chinese Mandarin, Lin Futu. They are representatives of their respective cultures. So the Greek, who is named Vegan, represent ancient Greece. The last guests to join them are Alignment and Persuasion, whose appearances have transformed into the humans Tegan sketched. And the part on. The TARDIS crew are reunited as guests aboard the ship. It soon becomes apparent there are four distant human cultures represented by a small group of humans. Ancient Greeks, the leader of whom is the philosopher Bigon, Chinese Mandarins and their leader Lin Futu, Princess Villagra, and representatives of the Mayan people, and Kokuchi and his tribesmen of the Australian Aboriginal culture. The Urbankans have visited Earth, each time getting speedier in their journeys. This time, they have left their homeworld after erratic solar activity, storing 3 billion of their species on slides aboard their craft. It seems the current journey is their last and they wish to settle on Earth, which they are due to reach in 4 days. Egon demonstrates to an astonished Doctor and Tegan that within his chest and beneath his face there's just a mess of electronics. Holding up a printed circuit connected to his chest, he states, "This is me." End of part 2. Part 3. The Doctor becomes suspicious of Monarch. He learns the Urbankans don't plan on a peaceful coexistence with humans. Instead, they'll use a toxin that the Urbankans produced from their own bodies during the flesh time, before they were converted to androids, which causes organic matter to shrink away to nothing. It will be unleashed before the Urbankans disembark. Edric and Monarch have a conversation about the Doctor and his TARDIS. Edric tells Monarch about the TARDIS and Edric goes off to ask the Doctor if Monarch could be allowed entry to the TARDIS. Nissa is held back by some androids. The Doctor discovers the humans aboard are not descendants of the original abductees. The original people were taken from Earth and converted into androids, just like the 3 Abergans. This revelation caused a panicked Tegan to use a spare key to get into the TARDIS, and she tries to pilot it back to Earth, but only succeeds in materializing it in space next to Monarch's ship. Enlightenment hypnotizes Nissa and tells her to recall all past life. She is then taken by the androids to be processed. They take Nissa to the mobiliary, and she is put into a machine to turn her into an android. The 4 leaders have been given additional circuits to help them reason, But this faculty can be taken away, as Bigden learns when he crosses a monarch once too often. It is revealed that Monarch's ship mined and destroyed the Urbanka in a quest for minerals to improve the ship, and now plans to do the same to Earth. Monarch believes that if he can move the ship faster than the speed of light, he can pilot it back to the beginning of time and discover himself as God. Adric is restrained, as on Persuasion's orders. The doctor is forced to his knees, and one of the Greek androids raises a sword to decapitate. End of part 3. Part 4. Nissa uses Doctor's sonic screwdriver and a pencil to sort out the androids and save his life. Edric stops Persuasion from shooting the Doctor by standing in the way, and Monarch announces that the Doctor is not to be harmed. Despite these events, Edric is taken with Monarch, and relations between the Doctor and him become very strained. It takes the truth to break the alien's hold over the boy. The Doctor sets about overthrowing Monarch, and with the help of the human androids led by a restored Vision, a revolution begins. The Doctor is forced to go out into space in order to retrieve the TARDIS, but Persuasion attempts to stop him. The Doctor and Edric tear out Persuasion's circuit and throw it into space. Enlightenment then tries to stop them and stuns Edric before the Doctor is able to get back into the TARDIS. Edric recovers after Enlightenment strands the Doctor in space and tears out Enlightenment's circuit. Doctor uses his cricket ball to propel himself the rest of the way to the TARDIS. He then lands the TARDIS back on the ship, and Monarch tries to kill the TARDIS travelers by shutting down the life support, but they are able to survive with the help of the helmets they brought from the TARDIS. The Doctor retrieves a sample of the Urbancan toxin, intending to analyze it and turn it against its creator, but when an armed Monarch confronts the Doctor, he is forced to use the entire sample against Monarch, who is reduced to just inches tall. It seems he is a product of the weak flesh time after all, having never, as the Doctor suspected, been fully converted into an android. Adding insult to injury, the Doctor reveals that Monarch's plan to travel back in time was ridiculous and would never have worked. With their former ruler now captive and helpless, the humanoid androids decide to pilot the vessel to a new home on a new world, while the TARDIS crew departs. Back in the concert room, Nissa suddenly collapses to the floor in a dead faint. So, and that, my friends, is the end of the story for To Doomsday. Name some cast members. The Doctor is played by Peter Davison. Monarch is played by Stratford Jones. Edric is played by Matthew Waterhouse. Tegan is played by Janet Fielding. Nissa is played by Sarah Sutton. Persuasion is played by Paul Shelley. Alignment is played by Annie Lambert. Wigan is played by Philip Locke. Len Futu is played by Bert Kwauk. Kukuchi is played by Ilaria BC Pedro. And Villagra is played by Nadia Haman. There are, of course, some uncredited cast, but yeah. It's it for now. Some world building in the story. So architecture is that element describes a cloister. Some world building astronomical objects. Urbanka is in the solar system. Inoxi in the galaxy 1489. Some world building books. Nissa reads a copy of Principia Mathematica. Some diseases. The Urbankans associate conditions such as chickenpox with the flesh time. Some world building with the Doctor. The Doctor gives Tegan a TARDIS key. And the Doctor was a friend of Francis Drake. Third thing is that Doctor is carrying a paper notebook and a pencil, which he gives to Tegan after she is asked by Enlightenment to provide a sketch of currently fashionable human clothing. Fourth, as Doctor demonstrates that he can survive for a short time in vacuum of space. Fifth, the Doctor demonstrates his skill with a cricket ball. And in sixth, Edric says that trouble amuses the Doctor. or trouble follows him. You see that in other stories, but yeah, this is how you see it. How you explain it. Cause trouble, solve problems. Cause problems, solve problems. Whatever. Not always the fault of the doctor, but yeah, it's for you choose for yourself. So in the end, the doctor solves almost, but most of all things sorted out takes place. Technology. NISA skilled in bioengineering and cybernetics. The second thing is NISA finds an electron microscope on board Monarch's spaceship. We see some show in this story. Musical instrument is that Kokuchi plays a didgeridoo. A didgeridoo. Planets is that Doctor refers to Gallifrey and Azarius in the story, and Dr. Nissa refers to Traken. Some world building in Time Lords. Um, so the Urbankans are aware of the Time Lords and the Eye of Harmony. So, Eye of Harmony, multiple times I talked about that. Also, especially in relation to the Doctor Who TV movie in 1996 with Eighth Doctor Paul McGann. I have did in the past. I did a live stream, especially about the Eye of Harmony, and explained then there in that live stream what the Eye of Harmony is and what's purpose, where it is located, and there's different things. So there's a reference to one of the. If you go to the playlist of the McGann era, you can actually find the live stream about the Eye of Harmony. There are also other playlists from other eras from different doctors, incarnations, and can enjoy some stories. So the second thing is that Edric is aware of Rassilon. Rassilon is also Time Lord. Monarch is unaware of the Master, and the Master is also Time Lord. Of course, it's main villain, one of the main villains. So, and the fourth thing is that Dr. states that only his professor at Academy really understood Artron energy. His powers the TARDIS. Artron energy is a thing that appears in many stories, Artron energy. So, okay, influences. The opening shot of Monarch's spacecraft in flight was suggested by John Nathan Turner, who intended it as an homage to opening shot of Star Wars. Some story notes. This was the first Fifth Doctor story to be filmed, though Peter Davison has often said that his first stories were recorded out of sequence so that Castrovalva might include a more confident performance on his part. There was a more practical reason. A little over a month before it was due to go in front of the cameras, Project Zeta Sigma was to be the first story of the Davison era was shelved by John Nathan Turner. Since there wasn't time to get a whole new first story for Davison's Doctor, production order had to be significantly revised. The out of order recording had nothing to do with any lack of confidence in Davison. Castrovalva simply wasn't written by the time the Fifth Doctor needed to make his debut in front of the cameras. As a reference to the Fifth Doctor Handbook for more for that. So the working title for this story was Day of Wrath. This is the first Doctor Who television story since The Monster of Paladin not to feature the Fourth Doctor in any capacity. Another thing. This is the first Doctor Who television story since Meglos to not be part of a wider story arc. Another thing is that this is the first television story since Warriors Gate to feature the exact same set of regular cast members as the previous story. So, of course, Miklos and Warriors Gate are, by the way, Fourth Doctor stories. Another thing is that the Nissa Sudden's fainting spell at the end of the story was a throwback to the style of serial transition often employed during the First Doctor era. For example, when the Doctor suddenly cries out in pain at the end of the Celestial Toymaker, leading into the gunfighters. which today is revealed as the culprit. In this case, the reason for Nissa's sudden collapse is revealed at the start of Kinda. So part one, establishing date of Locopolis and the opening scenes of Casablanca by revealing that flight Deacon was trying to catch in Locopolis was flight 8778 at 17:30 on 28th February 1981. This retroactively set Locopolis on the same date as it was broadcast. Um, um, okay, that's I think it's good enough for some story notes because yeah, I'll do some continuity. Uh, and I read myself again and again. Um, Stories episodes are to some extent related to each other, linked to each other, referencing to each other, and influence in some influence for each other. Yeah, as I rewatch stories and episodes, I always discover new things in it, and I see some links, some links because and of course every fan has his own things you can see in some stories, like make some links. So it's always an interpretation, and of course, in Doctor Who is in my view, um, it is choose your own canon. Every fan um, can choose his or her canon in Doctor Who. So um, there are 8 points, I think, in continuity, and that is Fourth Doctor previously displayed an ability to survive exposure to a vacuum in space. We see that, for example, TV story Nightmare of Eden. The 11th Doctor, Matt Smith, would again demonstrate this ability in TV story The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe as a Christmas special. The 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi, would again display such capabilities, but unlike in previous instances, he went completely blind as a result of prolonged vacuum exposure. That's in TV story Oxygen. Second thing is that Nissa's collapse leads to her spending several days resting in the TARDIS while the others have another adventure without her. We see that in TV story Kinda. And in this story, Tegan has some important main role. Third thing is that the Doctor unsuccessfully attempts to return Tegan to Heathrow Airport to catch the flight she was attempted to reach when she first entered TARDIS. Let's see that in TV story Logopolis, with the fourth Doctor regenerating. Fourth thing is that the fourth Doctor also carried a cricket ball with him at times. For example, in TV story The Ark in Space. A fifth thing is that Tegan refers to the death of her Aunt Vanessa. That's also a reference to TV story Logopolis. A sixth thing is that Doctor recalls his first meeting with Edric on Alzarius in TV story Full Circle. And Nissa on Trakan in TV The Keeper of Trakan. Yeah, it's actually all in the fourth Doctor era. Seventh thing is that Edric refers to the river fruits, also TV story Full Circle. And eighth thing is that Nissa refers to the master killing her father, Trimus. That's the TV story The Keeper of Traken. So also references to all these previous stories with the Fourth Doctor. So, and that, my friends and companions, is all I have to say about this story. So, some commercials, and yeah, then. So, sci-fi and fantasy fans, and also the fans, meet this channel for fun chats about the blog, books, movies, series, and franchises. We also talk about food and drinks, music and sport, and a special place for Doctor Who. Random. Cause we will discuss everything that involves entertainment, including movies and series, books, and music. Random, because we're broadcasting non-text times, actually many different times. You need to subscribe to this channel to know what time the broadcast is. random also, because we have no guests or different guests. It depends on what you join me in live stream or panel. If you want to join me in live stream, feel to contact me via Discord and YouTube, and we will look what is possible. And it's also possible to invite me for your channel for a live stream or panel. I'm available for that. I want to contribute also on your channel and talk about things we are interested in. So feel free to invite me for that. So Discord server is called Run Entertainment Channel Tech Doctor Who on the Discord, and you find me very quick because I bump the server regularly. So cheers, mate, and have lots of fun. Your host, Enigmatic Joker. So, friends and companions, I'd like to meet you. Have a nice day, everyone. Have a nice weekend. And for now, bye bye. Bye bye.